I am 67 years old, and every night I open the same drawer. I'm going to tell you something, and you're going to think it won't happen to you. That's exactly the problem. The bedroom is dim. There's a cheap lamp on the bedside table, the kind with a yellowed shade that makes everything look like it's already a memory. That lamp has been there longer than I can remember. My wife picked it out. I never noticed until she stopped picking things out. I pull open the drawer and I hear them before I see them. The pills. A half-empty bottle of blood pressure medication rattling around like dry bones in a tin box. That hollow little sound. It follows me into my sleep some nights. It's the sound of a clock running out, if a clock could fit in an amber plastic bottle. And right next to the pills, every single night, there it is, a gold envelope, an anniversary card I bought 3 years ago. The envelope has started to yellow now. The edge has gone soft from humidity and time, like even the paper got tired of waiting. I pick up the pills, I close the drawer, I leave the card. I've done this every night for 3 years. The pills keep me alive. The card reminds me I don't deserve to be. You think this is about being sick. It's not. This is about being empty. This is about building a cathedral out of your career and realizing you've been living in it alone. So sit down. Listen to an old man who earned his grief the hard way. Because I promise you, the thing that's killing me isn't in that pill bottle. Let me take you back. Back to when I was 32, 35, 40. The prime years, they call them. And they were prime. I was rising. Every quarter, better numbers. Every year, a bigger title. I had the corner office by 38. I had a reserved parking spot with my name stenciled on the curb. People shook my hand at company dinners and told me I was going places. And I believed something back then. I believed it the way you believe the sun will come up. I believed that providing was loving, that every late night, every missed dinner, every time I walked through the front door at 10:30 with my tie already loosened and my eyes already dead, that was sacrifice, noble sacrifice. I was doing it for her, for us. I was building something. You want to know what I was really building? A fortress she couldn't get into. I can still smell it, you know. The smell of reheated food in a quiet kitchen. Tupperware pulled from the microwave at 10:45 at night. Garlic and something tomato-based. A meal she made at 6 o'clock when it was fresh, when the table was set for 2, when there were still candles lit. By the time I sat down to eat it, the candles were out. The other plate was washed and put away. She'd already gone to bed. I told myself she understood. I told myself she was proud of me. Here's how you know you've lost someone while they're still in the room. They stop asking questions. My wife used to call me at the office around 5 o'clock. When will you be home, she'd ask, and I'd give her some answer. Soon, or another hour, or don't wait up. But she kept asking. For years, she kept asking. Then one day she stopped asking, when will you be home, and started saying one word, okay. I'd call and tell her I'd be late, and she'd say, okay. I'd say I had a weekend conference, and she'd say, okay. I'd miss our anniversary dinner, and I'm not proud of this, but it happened more than once, and she'd say, "Okay." I thought that word meant she was fine, that she'd adjusted, that we were a team, and she was holding down her end. That word didn't mean she was fine. That word meant she was done fighting for me. "Okay" was her white flag, and I saluted it like a victory. I was so arrogant. But the arrogance was invisible because it wore a mask. It dressed up like responsibility, like duty, like a man doing what a man is supposed to do. And nobody, not my friends, not my mother, not even my wife, told me the mask had slipped. Maybe they tried. Maybe I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening to much back then, unless it came with a quarterly report. Now let me tell you about the day that broke the lie in half. It was a Tuesday. I remember because I'd had a meeting that morning, a long one, and I almost didn't go with her to the appointment. I almost sent her alone. I want you to sit with that for a second. My wife had a cardiology appointment, and I almost didn't go because I had a meeting about a product launch that I cannot to this day remember a single detail about. I went, but I almost didn't, and she wouldn't have been surprised if I hadn't. That's the part that should break your heart. The doctor's office was cold. Not the kind of cold that makes you shiver, the kind that feels institutional, sterile, like warmth wasn't welcome there. The walls were beige, not a warm beige, a nothing beige, the color of waiting rooms and bad news. There was a plastic anatomical heart sitting on the doctor's desk, cross-sectioned so you could see all 4 chambers. I stared at that fake heart for a long time that afternoon. It was the most honest heart in the room. At least it admitted it was hollow. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, that low electrical hum that you don't notice until everything else goes quiet. And everything went quiet. The doctor sat across from us and started talking. Chronic heart failure, progressive. He used words like management and quality of life and realistic expectations. He said them smoothly, practiced. This man had delivered this same diagnosis 100 times. To him, it was Tuesday. It was a chart. It was the appointment before lunch. But my wife, I turned to look at her and watched her face collapse in real time. Not dramatically, not like in movies where someone screams or throws something. No, her face just fell, like a house settling into the ground. Her lips pressed together, her chin tightened, her hands gripped the armrests of that cheap vinyl chair so hard her knuckles went white, and I could hear the material creak under her fingers. Her breathing changed. She started taking these shallow, careful breaths, the kind you take when you're trying not to cry in front of someone. She was trying not to cry in front of a stranger, and in front of me, because somewhere along the way I had become a stranger too. The clock on the wall behind the doctor's head ticked. I could hear it over the ventilation. Tick, 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 each second sounding like a door closing. And here's the thing that destroyed me, the thing I will carry like a stone in my chest until the day I die. She was crying, silently, trying to hold it together, and I was sitting right next to her, 12 inches away. I could smell her perfume. I could hear each staggered breath she took, and I didn't reach for her. Not because I didn't want to, because I didn't know how. 40 years of marriage, and I didn't know how to reach for my wife's hand in a doctor's office. I didn't know her language of grief. I didn't know if she wanted to be held or left alone. I didn't know what words she needed. I didn't know anything about the interior life of the woman I'd slept beside for 4 decades, because I'd spent those 4 decades in conference rooms and airport lounges and office chairs, learning the language of everyone except the one person who actually needed me to be fluent. I sat there like a stranger in a waiting room, present in body, absent in every way that mattered. That same week, I stopped at a drugstore on the way home. I bought an anniversary card. It was the expensive kind, thick paper, gold embossing. One of those cards that says something you should be saying yourself. I brought it home. I set it on the bed. I planned to write something inside, something real, something that would reach across 40 years of silence and say, I see you, I'm sorry, I'm here now. I wrote nothing. I slid the card into the bedside drawer and told myself I'd give it to her tomorrow when I wasn't so tired. I was always tired. She was always waiting. Tomorrow became next week. Next week became next month. The card sat in that drawer while the gold envelope slowly yellowed. While the seasons changed outside a window she spent more and more time looking through. While the space between us hardened into something permanent. Now it's 3 years later. She's in the next room, right now, 22 feet away from where I'm standing. She's alive. She's breathing. There's an oxygen machine beside her bed, and it makes this low, rhythmic hissing sound all night long. It sounds like the house itself is sighing. She's not gone, but she's unreachable. Not because of the illness. The illness took her strength, her mobility, her independence. But I'm the one who took everything else. I took her loneliness and called it a marriage. I took her silence and called it peace. I took her okay and never once asked what it was replacing. Every night I open that drawer. Pills on the left, card on the right. I take the pills. I leave the card. The pills remind me that my own body is subtracting. Blood pressure, cholesterol, all of it. The machine is winding down. My time is short and getting shorter. And that card, that stupid golden untouched card, reminds me that I had time, decades of it, and I spent it on nothing that's in this room with me now. I used to fill boardrooms with my voice. I used to command attention from people who wore expensive suits and took notes when I spoke. Now I sit in a bedroom that smells like menthol and dust, and the loudest sound is the clock on the wall and the refrigerator humming down the hall, and that oxygen machine breathing for a woman who used to dance in the kitchen when she thought no one was watching. I was never watching. Some nights I take the card out. I hold it. I run my thumb along the sealed flap, and I think about walking it down the hall and placing it in her hands. But I can't, because giving it to her now wouldn't be a gift. It would be a confession. It would be saying, I've had this for 3 years. I bought it and couldn't even be bothered to sign it. And the weight of that, the pathetic, undeniable weight of that, keeps it in the drawer. The card has become an artifact of my cowardice, and the drawer has become a coffin for every good intention I never followed through on. Now I'm going to talk to you. Yes, you, the one watching this right now, the one who's been nodding along, maybe feeling something tighten in your chest, maybe thinking about someone in the next room, or across town, or at the other end of a text message you haven't sent. You're telling yourself, tomorrow. Stop it. Tomorrow is the lie that buried me. Tomorrow is the card in the drawer. Tomorrow is the chair in the doctor's office where your hand stays in your lap instead of reaching for the person who needed you. Put the phone down. Walk into the next room. Say the thing you've been rehearsing in your head for months. Say it badly. Say it with your voice cracking and your words falling apart. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you say it today, not tomorrow, today. Don't buy the card, deliver it. Don't plan the trip, book it. Don't tell yourself that providing a paycheck is the same as providing a presence, because I am living proof that a man can fund a life and still leave it completely empty. You're tired. I know you're tired. But your exhaustion is not an excuse. It's evidence. It's evidence that you are pouring every single ounce of yourself into things that will not sit beside your bed when the oxygen machine turns on. Your job will not hold your hand. Your title will not learn your language of grief. Your quarterly numbers will not cry when you leave the room. The drawer is still open. The card is still inside. And the woman I was supposed to love learned to live without me while I was still in the house. Don't be the man with the drawer. Be the man who closes it, because there's nothing left in it he didn't already give away.